Going into one. You see two separate incidents there. Clearly, you saw Schrader ahead of Trickle by, looked like, what, 10, 12 cars, if not more. So two separate incidents.
Eli, I was watching. There was a car. They really got backwards about halfway down the straightaway there, and I think they saw the wreck. Maybe Trickle backed off a little bit and got rear-ended and turned him into the end.
The car number 26 in front of the Rick Wilson car from the in-car Kodak camera. Tire, boom, Shepard is sideways. The back end against the concrete, contact. Wilson has nowhere to go. Left front fender, ouch. Wilson comes on through past the flag stand, and Shepard's car will spin again and come down and contact the inside concrete wall. Here's the last part of it. Shepard's car, the Quaker State machine, spins, loops once, loops twice, backs against the concrete guardrail inside or concrete wall, and comes to a halt.
Jerry, I think we need to make a comment here about the tire situation. You see Potter sliding down. Morgan's car is dead in the water, and Potter gives him a third significant wrap on the right front. Now let's look at it one more time in real time.
Okay, the 55 there, Jeremy Mayfield's right under him as they come out of the corner there.
Oh,
a little bit of contact there.
Yep. He did. Kenny hit the wall
bounced
first.
off the wall first.
Yeah, into Jeremy Mayfield, and that turned him around down the right straightaway. See Steve Park and several other cars. Very, very lucky he stayed on the low side.
Bam.
There
Just the least little bit.
But that's all it took.
Yep. Now, guys, we're 100 and it'll be 109 miles from the finish. Everybody's coming in again. Lap 291. Fuel, can they go 109 miles?
They're already getting the oil coming out of the back car. The motor turned loose. You can see the stream of oil coming along behind him. There's Rusty got in the oil first. Quickie backs it in the wall, and back behind him he's left a big stream of oil. You know, these things carry 24 quarts of oil in them, and it pretty well dumps it all out there in one of these cases.
Alan Kowicki better be glad that that fuel cell is working. That would have been a major accident 10 years ago.
Kowicki sliding off the wall. This is turn 4.
I don't know if it'll come into this shot, but right behind this is when, you know, Earnhardt came in and ran up. Here's Earnhardt coming through. Here's another shot going down in the corner again. See the smoke trailing off of it. Quickie's turning right around in the middle of that oil, buddy. That's a bad feeling right there, isn't it?
Helpless.
Sure, when the car's on the edge of control to begin with, and you're running well,
and here's here's a guy that was fighting for the lead, probably making his best run. We were talking to his crew chief. He was saying, hey, we couldn't be happier. We probably got the car better than it's been all day. And then boom. Sometimes they'll do that, though. The fastest lap of their run will be their last one.
Oh, that used to just scare me when all of a sudden my car started pulling away. I always was waiting on that loud sound when that engine turned loose.
I think we've got one more look at it. Here comes Earnhardt. And doesn't look like he's up in the oil, but he probably got oil on his tires a little further back.
Well, once you make that commitment, if you had a race car that you could make it turn left that quick, it'd be a pretty good car. You're committed to one line, and these race cars are wanting to go to the right all the time, and it'd be hard to cut her down to the left around it. Here's a different angle altogether.
And like you said, these banks are self-cleaning. Might Earnhardt have been surprised that Kowicki's car stopped there and didn't come all the way down.
Here's Rusty going back down through the infield.
So Earnhardt has to go up to miss Rusty.
Well, see, he goes through the smoke.
He got in trouble right there.
Makes a commitment to dodge Rusty through the smoke. And
Here's what happened again. Watch this.
Wow. It looked like Chad just broke loose a little bit with the front end of the car, went up and got into the back of the 71 and turned him there. Now watch the 71 come down. As you come down the racetrack, look at everybody trying to get by him.
Great job.
Bobby Labonte goes by there and into the inside wall, Marcus.
Now, if the first hit hadn't hurt that car, the second one surely did.
That was a big break for some fellas like a Bobby Labonte, because he was not far from being lapped by the race leaders. And that turned out to be a big break for him.
Marcus in his 863rd.
For a moment, he's involved in it somehow.
here they are, buddy, coming off turn 2. Looks like Chad Little got a little sideways, maybe got a little bit of a push right there. Then it just clogged the back straightaway up.
Schrader.
Everybody scrambles. Larry Pearson's going to make it through. Ernie Irvin does not.
He didn't make it.
Close. We'll have a list of the cars involved here for you in a moment. Another look at it. And watch top of the screen. There goes Chad Little.
Oops. Yeah, he got hit from behind by Bodine right on the right rear corner, and that turned him right into the wall.
There's Schrader in the white car. Dale Jarrett is turned around. Irvin's turned around. They were both hit from behind.
Yeah. Schrader really hit the inside wall.
There's Pearson. And the hole closes right up. Was that Sterling Marlin?
There goes the 41 car.
Looked like it was Marlin that got into the back of Schrader and Jarrett. Trickle is in it.
Richard Petty.
Looks like an instant junkyard.
Musgrave snuck past again. That's 2 for today.
There's Joe Ruttman against the inside wall.
Brian Ross is...
Caution, watch what happened. Already in progress.
Yeah, you see the fire running behind the car there. That fuel pump line is knocked off there. That's really not anything other than just superficial fire there. It's nothing that would continue to burn.
Let's take a look at what Kenny Irwin saw. Watch Andretti just go right up the hill.
That's a second crash in 2 weeks.
Back right there.
Yeah, they touched a little bit. It's hard to say if Quickie was coming down, the 9's going up, but they did touch. Got him turned around backwards. And I tell you, they just get faster right here, buddy, when they start sliding.
Wow, I'm telling you, that is a hard lick, too. Look at that car get back up in that wall. It looked like a magnet on it.
What kind of lucky charm was Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett carrying there? And Rusty.
There's Rusty coming under with him. And he's going to cross traffic. This big banking on this thing. Self-cleaning. Go sweep him down across the bank here. Come back across traffic.
Here's a different angle.
Well, that's just after they made contact there. What happened? He thought he had cleared the 9 car, and they touched, and away he went.
Everybody hit for the apron.
A lot of activity on pit lane.
Johnny's problems.
Well, Johnny's up on the high side there. You see John Andretti in the 43. Whether there was contact or not, we certainly won't speculate. As he starts sliding down, cars are trying to avoid him, and it's a chain reaction behind him. Kyle Petty hit very, very hard with the left front corner, just very close to where he's sitting.
And watch this. I don't know if you can see it on this angle. No, it's already gone by as Kyle comes crashing on in. And again, those straightaways are 9 degrees of banking. But did you notice when Benson spun too, it was Ted Musgrave, another Roush car that came along and nuzzled him.
3 of the 5 Roush cars involved in that single incident. Ooh.
That's Randy LaJoie in the 50 there. You can see he had the brakes locked up, nowhere to go.
Watch this first angle again. Watch, you'll see quickly after he spins. Watch a blue and gold car come by and rip off the rear bumper. Here comes Musgrave. Close, watch. There he is. Bang.
He also pushed the door in on Musgrave's car.
Oh, get out. Here you go, buddy. Here they're coming off forward. Dollenbach.
Dollenbach running the wall. Look at this impact. Oh, man.
Dollenbach hit the wall. There's nowhere to go. And Cope hit him and just turned him straight in the inside wall. And it's not over yet. They're fixing to come in here again pretty hard.
A hard shot.
That cameraman's got my vote. He stood there and took that picture. I'd have been somewhere in the middle of the infield.
There you see Dollenbach really glance off the wall. When he did, it just turned Cope directly into the inside. And folks, that thing's not going to slow down. If it was running 150 off the wall, he was running 150 when he hit the wall. And they hit again further on down the racetrack. I'm trying to see where that camera was at. So it must be on pit wall because, I mean, they were all over the top of it, spinning around, headed back down in the grass. And there's a camera sitting right on the wall, about to take it off.
And it's remote controlled.
That's Todd Bodine right there in big trouble, backing back up in front of Nadeau there. You see Mike Skinner had nowhere to go in the 31 as they get all together there. A lot of damage to all 3 cars.
Everybody else does a good job to get by. Again, watch it here.
Looks like Todd tangled with the 23, Jimmy Spencer. Oh, hard hit.
And there was nothing Nadeau could have done.
Uh-uh.
I mean, not a thing.
Nope.
Or Mike Skinner. That's sometimes just where you're at on the racetrack. That gets you in it.
Here's what Darrell Waltrip saw. Whoa!
Okay, looks like Rusty turns the 27 car into the 3 car. And Ricky was on the outside there. He run in the back of Earnhardt when they made contact.
When Morgan Shepherd got a slap there and got through it. So did Jimmy Spencer, Dale Jarrett. There's another angle from up on high.
Yeah, this is after they're already going.
And there in the back, Jeff Gordon and Rick Mast got together.
Yeah. Well, that's just chain reaction.
Yep.
Kyle coming up on the inside there. He's running very, very fast. Right there, the nose of Kyle's car kind of goes up. Bobby comes down to get off the corner. Well, they just barely touch.
Sure they touched?
It looked like it. After looking at it real close, it looked like, yeah, it looked like they touched just a little bit. The angle we had.
We'll take another angle here. Let's see if this shows it better.
There, right there. He touched him right there just a little bit. Certainly unintentional, but hey, the end result is the same.
It's reminiscent of the ride Dick Trickle took of the wall yesterday in his Busch.
There he looks like he's getting down. Oh, he's down under. Who is that? The Musgrave's car. And they got together a little bit. And around he goes. And I'm telling you, you're going to hit this fence a ton. Look
Who's that? Derek Cope.
Oh, Cope, man. People wonder why Cope didn't just turn left and get out of the way. You just can't turn left up there. It's real slippery on that part of the track. You just got to ease the car on down.
Then Parsons looks like he guided the car back up to the wall to keep it out of more trouble as everybody moves by on the inside. Here's another angle.
He just got underneath and had nowhere to go and got down on the flat a little bit there, and it turned right around on him. Oh. If anybody's ever hit that wall like myself, that hurts just to see that.
Yeah, it can bring flashbacks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
That car still rests up against the retaining wall where it stopped. And the track crews kind of cautiously going to.
There's Jeff.
Well, you see Jeff up against the wall there. Apparently, he cannot hold the car up there. It's broken the steering. He starts down. You see the car just trickling down. Wow, Dick Trickle hits him and then comes along Bobby Hill and really smacks into Dick Trickle. I mean, that was severe hits. That's the whole right front off of Dick Trickle's car coming down the racetrack there.
Nemechek ran over a good bit of debris, too, as we watch it again. He'll be late in the incident, but Nemechek runs over a bunch of stuff.
Oh, hard hit. Trickle almost got that thing over. He hit so hard. Look at all the debris bouncing around on the racetrack. Get an in-car look at this.
Yeah, now watch this. The camera's going to take a hit here and go to black for a second, but then it's going to come back. So just hang with this here.
Wow.
Bill Lilly, I told
started. Did you see Mark Martin? See him get loose there?
Yep.
Saved it.
He got loose. Rear end twitched down on the car. He had to get out of the gas a little bit, but the chain reaction to the rear is what the problem was. Spencer turned it around. The 22 is going to enter in here somewhere. I think he was slowing it, got in the outside. Well,
there goes Spencer down on the inside wall. You see Rick Wilson go through that little opening there.
There's Trickle up there against. No, that's the 22 against the wall.
Trickle hit everything on the bottom. Let's see.
This was a pass for the lead. Oh,
Bobby Labonte. Looks like he got tipped there into the fence.
Watch Rick Wilson right here. He's headed directly for the door on the 7 car. He makes a tremendous save right here.
Look at all of them in the bottom there gouging around.
That's Dick Trickle in the middle of that sandwich.
Oh, is that the look like Phil Park
channel car, and watch what happens to old Fred Flintstone here.
Boy, he had a right front go flat as he started into the corner and right up in the outside wall.
You could even see some debris of rubber come off the tire as it popped and straight into the wall. That was a hard hit, wasn't it, buddy?
Now we'll take a look also from the in-car camera. Let's listen to what happened here.
Well, that makes me cringe.
Eli, been there, done that.
Sideways, way back up in the corner. 3 abreast, look like. You see 2 of them side by side. He smacked it, just like you said, right back across the track. Wham! We're not going to see any easy wrecks today, folks. They're going so fast around this track, it's going to tear some equipment up.
And he couldn't get stopped for the inside wall because you'll see it looked like he tore the front brakes out of it. The car's rolling down there. The front wheels won't lock.
Wow, he hit that outside wall so hard, all 4 wheels come off the ground. That is a lick.
Bam to the inside, and there came, right off the wall, and there was Jeff Burton trying to get by. And you brought a good point up here yesterday, Buddy Baker, but for those who weren't with us on the telecast of the MBNA 200, it's worthy of a repeat about how it is that everybody ends up on the inside wall after you have a problem spinning off that number 2 corner, just like we see with Chad.
Well, you can see the straightaway here is backed as much as some of the turns in some of the racetracks that we go to.
Looked like the 11 got into Greg Sachs just a little bit there, and both of them spun.
Bobby Hillen just almost missed that. Split right between the two of them. Just got tagged a bit.
So Darrell Waltrip, some of the other guys do a good job getting slowed down, not getting involved.
Here's another angle.
You see Bill
up to the left of there, right behind the sign, yeah. Boy, Hillen went right through the middle of it, but he's coming on around.
Who's that? Bobby Labonte, the blue car.
Yeah.
Looked like he tried to miss the 11, but just got a piece of it. Look at Ernie Irvin go through there.
Let's see that first angle again, see if we can get a better idea how this got started. No,
a little bit different angle.
Well, you could see that Bill was just behind him, and I'm sure Greg thought he was clear and maybe come down on Bill just a little bit there. It's hard to really tell when things like that happen.
With the leaders.
Les Spencer on the outside, he gets touched right there by Wally Dallenbach. That triggers the whole deal. Look at Jeff Bodine getting by on the outside there. He gets hit in the back.
It was starting in front of him. Brett Bodine was ahead of him, and it had already started right in front of him when Spencer in the 15 got into it. I mean, everybody was all together still after that restart period.
Oh, boy, it's already let go. Ooh, it hit hard. Look how close he come to the back of Martin's car, into the inside wall. The car's on fire. That's a hard lick right there. The whole car jumps up in the air.
He was really at full steam down there in the very inside of the 4th turn. And when it lets go like that, there's just nothing you can do but hang on. It hit very hard on the outside and inside. Now it's a ball of fire. They have gotten him out of there.
Here's another look at it.
Look at it just take off. You can see it smoke in the right front. It's going straight to the wall. You can see the black marks he's leaving from having the brakes on, but they don't slow it down very much. Pretty good impact there. He comes across the track. Luckily, everybody else misses him. And then he slams. Look at that fire. Wow. Slams the inside wall just about as hard as the outside wall.
Yeah, one thing you don't do when you start across this racetrack, you don't slow down going down the racetrack.
And now where he stops is quite a ways from where the emergency crews are stationed.
All right, there. The purple car is Andretti, 37.
That's Andretti there. He gets a little bit loose. Touched. Nobody touched. He's loose there. Back end's coming around. This starts a chain reaction behind him.
There's Ricky Craven, 41. Joe Nemechek, 87. I think Brett Bodine may sneak through there in 11.
Looked like maybe Rusty got into Mark.
In the aftermath. Boy, Brett Bodine snuck right through there. Nice move. Here's a second look at it.
There's no contact. He just gets sideways right there. And on this racetrack, you're running so fast up off the corner, it's just hard. They make contact there. Ricky Craven hits him on the left front. That turns him sideways.
And then after this, it looks like Rusty may have got into Mark a little bit. And then I don't know why Dale Jarrett come flying up through there.
Look at Ricky Craven in that Kodiak car. He's going to bring that car around. I don't know how Brett Bodine misses him. He's going to save it and drive it away.
Wow.
Woo.
Looks like Jeff Burton just got sideways there. He hits Bodine in the door, turns him around. Once you get in that position here, you watch how they just go automatically to the top of the racetrack and then to the wall.
And then come right back down. Look at that tire.
That is a complete tire. It dismounted that thing.
And it's going to come down, and Todd Bodine's going to make a turn here trying to miss it.
See, here's the worst part about this Monster Mile that we call the Monster. The guys, not only do they go high, here they come, back down the track.
Todd hit Greg Sachs. That put him into Dale Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett was sitting there with nowhere to go, and Sachs come and bumped into him, which Sachs didn't have anywhere to go either.
And did you notice the worst damage? The 18 car was just fine, and when we watched another replay, the 18 car was just fine until he backed into the inside retaining wall.
Well, you can see Hutt right on the bottom of the racetrack there. He comes in. They make contact right here. There goes John sideways up towards the outside wall. Todd's into Hutt Strickland. Now watch him come up and really make contact with John Andretti. See the car almost turned over. It really got up in the air there.
You know, but it almost looked like, here's the aftermath of it. Bodine, of course, with nowhere to go.
Wow.
Well, if he didn't bend the right front wheel back on that, I'll be surprised.
You know, Mike always try to figure out why it happened. It's just that.
A little after the fact, might have had a little contact there with Michael Waltrip, I'm not sure, but the smoke was flying. You see he hit that wall about as hard as you can hit it backwards.
You notice how he picked up speed, buddy.
Watch all these cars coming at him, and he's got the brakes locked, as you can see, but that car's got enough momentum. It's coming down in front of him.
Car in front, that's Lake Speed, the slow car way up front. There's Jarrett.
Oh.
And there's Craven behind him. Whoa.
Dale just got loose. Well,
no, he took a big slide. Now he's going to try to pit.
Yeah, this is it. He comes across the track. Mike Wallace gets into the side. Watch him go back up the racetrack here and go straight into the wall.
Mike Wallace was racing, saw Jarrett coming down, and went to the apron to miss him. So Jarrett must have cut a tire down that big slide at turn